Well, I'm looking forward to what y'all have to say this week. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Head Stove Vidcast. They're going to have another episode of the Phillies Head Stove Hotline where I will be allowing people to call my hotline number and leave voicemails, and they can appear on this show. Now, guys, before getting this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please don't engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Just before we kick it off, I just want to say, if you want an opportunity to be on Phillies Head Stove Vidcast on the Phillies Head Stove Hotline, call 267-225-3392. Again, 267-225-3392. You can find this in the description section. Call, leave a voicemail, and you can state your question and or opinion about any Phillies topic. Just state your name and where you're calling from. If you don't want to do that, you could just record yourself, voice memo, right? And just email that to phillieshatstove@gmail.com. Do the same thing, state your name, where you're calling from, question and or opinion about any Phillies topic. If you do not want to appear on the show audio, you can just go and just text it, right? You could go and text 267-225-3392. You could DM me, Phillies Hat Stove or Harper Fanatics, or you could just email it to phillieshatstove@gmail.com. So those are your options to appear on Phillies Hat Stove Vidcast, right? So if you're going to type it to me, just the same thing, your name, where you're texting from, question and or opinion about any Phillies topic. So let's get right into this. Let's kick it off with Keith calling in from Maryland. Let's take a look at what he has to say.
Hey, Luke. This is Keith from Hagerstown, Maryland. This Phillies team reminds me of the 2018-2019 team. They both started out fairly decent, but come August and September, they just faded. They were, terrible. Just wanted to know your input and what you feel about that.
Yeah, man, you bring up a really good point. This team does remind me of the 2018, 2019, even 2020 Phillies team. I mean, it's just the same old story year after year after year, and the reason why that is because they just keep running the same core out there year after year after year, right? I definitely agree with you. More so in 2018, 2019. I mean, those were times where we really were, far ahead in the division, right? I mean, this was just crazy, right? I mean, you saw, especially in 2019, when that was the biggest surprise for me. I mean, going into that season, we just had such high expectations, right? That was just such a disappointing season. So I agree, man. They just seem to really, really fall off. I mean, I think this year more so, I think they've been a consistent 500 team. I think in 2018, 2019, it finished, of course, 500 pretty much, right? In 2018, 80 and 82, 2019, 81 and 81. But more so, we've just been consistently 500 this year, opposed to those two seasons. We were really far ahead in the division lead, and we just completely collapsed at the end. I mean, we're just a 500 team. That's all there is to it. And our flaws just get exposed, come later in the season, when players start getting fatigue, and it's just a common theme with this team. So it just really exposes, the team for what they really are. And there's a difference between having a weak team and a strong team. I mean, huge difference, right? I mean, the weak teams, they have a lot of potential, like the Phils. And they just kind of fizzle out. They kind of get fatigue. And then you see the strong teams, they have stamina. They can finish it out, right? Like the Dodgers. I mean, the Giants are doing that this year. So it's just crazy, man. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays. There's a lot of teams that are really, really impressive. As we're going to go over to Ethan, right? So Ethan's a great guy. I'm just going to talk a little about him. I mean, comments on every one of my videos. Huge shout out to him. So I'm glad he finally called in the Phillies Hat Stove Hotline. So I'm really looking forward to what Ethan has to say, calling in from Sewell, New Jersey. Let's take a look.
What's up, Luke? It's Ethan here. I'm calling from Sewell, New Jersey. My question is, do you think that it's fair to put some of the blame, what's happening to the Phillies right now, on Joe Girardi? Do you think Joe Girardi should be fired at some point, and if things don't happen to shape up, or is it just solely a player's thing? Love watching videos, man. Bye.
Appreciate the kind words, Ethan. Just to answer your question, I do put some of this blame on Joe Girardi. I do, and the way that he's managed, the bullpen, sometimes I'm not going to put the 100% blame on Joe Girardi, but the way he's managed the bullpen, sometimes it just really, really befuddles me. The decisions that he makes are just weird. I mean, letting a pitcher bat and then taking him out the next inning, like the other night when he left Zach Wheeler in the ninth. I mean, when he kind of looked gassed, taking out a pitcher too early, he's dealing, takes him out. So I don't know. I agree with you. I mean, I definitely think that some of the blame has to come on Joe Girardi, but also at the same time, injuries haven't helped. I don't want to, play the injury card here. And also, he doesn't have the greatest team in the world to work with. I do not think he'll be firing after this year. I just don't. I think they're probably going to cut him another break, but I like Joe Girardi. I like him better than Gabe Kapler. I still think he's a better manager than Gabe Kapler. Yes, they're going to be like, oh, well, look at the Giants. Look at the Giants. Look at the Giants. Look what they're doing. Look at the Giants. Listen, that's just my opinion. I like Joe Girardi more than Gabe Kapler. I like him way more than Gabe Kapler. I do like Joe Girardi. I get annoyed at them sometimes. I don't think a lot of the blame is going to come down Joe Girardi. I think some of it does, but not all of it. I mean, let me be clear. I mean, he's made some pretty bad blunders as the manager of the Phils, but I like him worlds better than Gabe Kapler. So I just want to say that right now. And we're going to go take a look at Andrew, right, who is going to make a point, right? He's called into every episode of the Phillies at Stove Hotline. So let's take a look at what he has to say.
Hey, it's your boy Andrew, the only person who has called in every single episode of the Phillies Hot Stove Hotline. Now, after our loss to the Diamondbacks, the team stings. And there have been so many disappointing players who have played for the Phillies this year. But I'm going to make a hot take right now. There's been so many disappointing players like Aaron Nola, Didi Gregorius, all those guys. But let's not let JT Realmuto go under the covers here. And it makes me stick to my stomach, bro. Stick to my stomach, bro. You know how much money he's making? Basically the same amount as Bryce Harper per year. You know what Bryce Harper doesn't do? Strike out every single time there's a chance with runners in scoring position. This dude is a waste. I can't believe we signed this man. And you know what annoys me? Every time he hits a home run, I go on the MLB Instagram, and I see all these Phillies fans go like, BCIB, BCIB. Yeah, he made his one home run, and the other 9 times with that bat, he couldn't score with runners in scoring position. It's ridiculous, and I think he should get way more blame this season because he's not been good, and he is one of the reasons why we cannot get any single bat any of the bats going because he cannot hit. He had that one series against the Nationals. What has he done since?
Well, Andrew, you bring up an excellent point, and I talked a little about it too, and you're right. I mean, he's been definitely disappointing. You go take a look at his production. Even last year, it was a little down compared to 2019. 2019 was a very, very good year for JT Realmuto, and go look, he did in 2018 with Miami Marlins. He was also very, very good that year as well. But you go take a look at his current stats. I'm just going to go pull him up right now. 260 average. 14 homers, 56 RBIs, 792 OPS, right? So I'd like to see that OPS a little bit higher, and I do agree he has not hit well in the clutch, right? He does not have good numbers with runners in scoring position. That's just who he is, right? He's been like that his whole career. He was like that in 2019. He was like that in 2018 with the Marlins. That's just who he is, right? So I'm not... Listen, I mean, JT's just not that kind of guy. He's not the kind of guy. Usually it's going to get a big clutch hit. And like you said, you brought up the series in Washington. You're right. I mean, he was pretty good in that series. But yes, he's definitely been cold, right? To go take a look at his last 30, 232, a 301 on base percentage, and a 438 slugging. So, I mean, pretty bad numbers right there. The OBP is down, average is down, slugging is down. And 14 homers, too. It's not anything spectacular at all. He's now tied with the RBI total with Bryce Harper. So you bring up a really, really good point. And not to mention, you didn't even bring up this point about how kind of just shaky his defense has been, man. I mean, he is not really, the arm hasn't been as good, right? And you almost wonder if he, I've heard other people bring this up, and maybe he's, taking his foot off the gas. And I really hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope I'm wrong, because in years prior, when we traded him, 2019, 2020, right, he knew he was on, playing for a contract, right? I mean, especially last year. He knew he was on a contract here. Now that he's been paid, you bring up a really good point. I mean, really big paycheck, he kind of is like, it's all guaranteed, right? I got, 5 years, I got all this money, I'm fine. I could just go up there literally every at-bat if I wanted to and strike out. I'm still going to get my paycheck. I'm still going to get a check from the Phils written out no matter what I do. And there's a lot of players out there like that, right? Of course, Bryce Harper's not one of them, but JT Realmuto, I'm not going to accuse him of doing that at all. I still think JT wants to win. I think he's an extremely competitive guy. I don't understand he doesn't show a lot of emotion. He was showing some emotion for a little while. But I certainly wouldn't be, totally surprised if maybe he just is kind of, taking his foot off the gas a little bit, right? I'm not going to accuse him of that, like I said. But who knows? It's just a possibility. And like I said, his defense hasn't been as good. You saw that last night too. He hasn't really done as good a job at throwing runners out, stealing things like that. Like I just said, the power's down. The average isn't as high as I like it to be, and you're right. I mean, you can't let that slide. JT has, in my opinion, not really been. I understand I call him the BCIB all the time. I think he's the BCIB over the past 3 years, but right now, is he the best catcher in baseball right now, as we speak, on August 27th, 2021? No, he's not. He's not putting up the best numbers this season. So I definitely agree with you on that. And I kind of actually toned down the BCIB talk, if you actually noticed that. I'm not trying to defend myself or anything. I'm just, making an observation. But I definitely agree with what you said about JT Realmuto. As we go take a look at another anonymous person here, an Instagram follower of mine, and he's going to remain anonymous. He sent this to me yesterday. Do you think that the Rhys Hoskins injury is the nail in the coffin for this Phillies season? I agree, man. I mean, I definitely think it is. I do not see the Phillies making the playoffs. Even with Rhys, I think it's still really unlikely. And now it's really, really unlikely now we're going to make the playoffs without a big bat like Rhys Hoskins, right? It's a home run threat, and it's really just a shame. It is just a shame what happened to Rhys Hoskins. And you know what? Hopefully he's fully healthy next year. And hopefully he, can hit for a little bit higher average. If he could just hit 250, I'd be fine with that. If he's going to go out there and hit 40 tanks and hit 250, that's fine. Driving over 100 RBIs, that's what we need out of him next year. So I'm also somewhat happy that, that he's just going to just rest up. He's going to get the surgery, right? He's going to get some, some rest this offseason. He's going to go next season. I want him to go off, right? It's Philly Sports Content. We're talking on the phone privately. And he made a really good point. He said, if you exclude, some of these long droughts that Rhys Hoskins goes through, the 0 for 50s and all this other stuff, and the 1 for 25s and all that other, these terrible slumps. I mean, he's one of the best first basemen in the baseball. He already kind of is, right? If he could just clean up his defense, I mean, he's a power threat. He could drive a lot of runs. So, I definitely think losing him really, really hurts the Phils. Playoff chances this year, but I almost look at it as a good thing, right? He's going to go to next year. We probably aren't going to win anything this year anyway. So that is pretty much it for this week. I'm going to say it again. If you want an opportunity to be on Phillies Hats Videocast, call or text 267-225-3392, right? So call, leave a voicemail, state your name, where you're calling from, question and or opinion about any Phillies topic. You can find it in the description section. You can text the hotline number as well, question and or opinion about any Phillies topic. And you could also just send that to phillieshatsav@gmail.com. You could send a voice memo to phillieshatsav@gmail.com. You could write your question or opinion to phillieshatsav@gmail.com, or you can send it via DM. Phillies Hot Stove and Harper Fanax on Instagram. One of those two. It's up to you. You have an opportunity to be on the show. So now a quick announcement. Forgot to talk about in the game recap. I have joined StreamYard, right? So once a week, we're going to be not streaming the game, right? Because I got in trouble for that. But I'm going to be just streaming myself talking, right? I mean, about the game, probably about an hour, or so. I mean, I'm just going to just kind of hang out. It's going to be more casual. It's not going to be like this, talking the whole time and going like this. It's going to be kind of sitting back, kind of chill. So make sure you all tune in. I'm thinking I'm going live around maybe 8:15 tonight, my first live stream on here. I'm really excited. So I'm just going to do a live reaction to the game going on. So about an hour or so to sit back. Of course, there's still going to be game recaps. It's not going to change, but I'm just adding a new thing, so I'm really excited. So guys, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please click the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check the social media link in the description section at Phillies Hats of Instagram, Facebook, Instagram. Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshatstove@gmail.com. You have an opportunity to be on the show. So guys, thanks for watching. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Let's go, Phils. I'll see you guys.